rescue, revamp, create. The art of drum synthesis. The new course is available at Letsynthesize Academy.
Yo, the Larsen here, welcome to the newest Synthesize Sound episode, and today I want to talk about compression, mainly on drums, and to tell you why I almost never compress drums through this little thing I made. A new course on drum synthesis and rescuing is coming to Letsynthesize Academy. Check the link down below, and for this whole project for my Patreon. But right now, let's jump into it. Right, so here is this beat once again. Okay, so my main problem with compressing the drums on the drum group, so like this way, is that it pulls up levels of the tops too heavily, but obviously this can be an easy solution. Just make a little adjustments on the levels. But my main problem with this is that it kicks off the structure of the build of the drums that I just built up. You know, pulling back the volume on the hi-hats basically just won't change the output level of the compressed drums. It will change the whole behavior of the compressor. So this is, to me, honestly, not the most ideal solution. The second problem with this is it totally changes the sound of the kick drum. So it changes the transient. You lose lots of low end from the kick. So a solution for this can be to use parallel compression. It's a very simple thing, by the way. You just pull back the driver knob on the compressor if you have any, but the glue compressor has. This way you keep the original drums and you dial in some of the compressed drums. Still, it is not the most ideal solution to me because you still change the behavior of the kick, you lose low end from it, and you change the transient of it. So the solution for it is very simple, honestly. First thing, if you want to have more transient, just use a transient shaper. It is this simple. To me, the Maxwell Love Carver is the best with saturator after that. So this is the kick. I want to have a very short length on that and adding some attack to it. So basically I'm increasing the level of the transient. And with the saturator, I'm avoiding digital clipping. Basically, I'm just chopping off the peaks. So as you can see, I am able to create a lot snappier transient on the kick without compressing it. And my next problem with this, if you put a compressor on the group, the hi-hats will sound if they were sidechain. And this would not be a huge problem, but listen. If you mute the kick, the structure and the levels of the other sounds, the hi-hats and the percussion, will be a lot louder. So it is not, again, the most ideal solution to have this unbalanced sound simply because you mute the kick or just you make the kick a lot busier in the drum section. So if you are after that sidechain sound that the compressor creates, why don't you use a simple sidechain plugin like the volume shaper or whatever, the LFO tool on the hi-hats that basically I do all the time. And this way you have the pumping sound that the compressor does. You can add a transient shaper on the kick and boom, you have a very nice heavily compressed sound without these unwanted side effects. For example, when you mute the kick, the whole structure will fall off. And the next tip, if you still want to have a very heavily compressed sound, why don't you compress, for example, the most prominent sound on the hi-hats? For example, in this case, the 909 head. So let me deactivate the compressor. Why don't you compress it separately and bake it? And resample it. And now you have a very nice compressed open hi-hat without the struggle of using a compressor. And you can do the same thing on the clap, for example. Right now, I just want to have a run with the open hi-hat only. So right now, without a compressor on the main group, with a transient shaper and some compression only on the main sound, a little volume changes, like if it was sidechain, you can have this sound. It really sounds if it was compressed really heavily, but you have some benefits. The most important part for me here is the sound won't fall apart when you mute the kick. Of course, you can say, why don't I just compress only the hi-hats and not with the drums? I can do that, but still, I think this is even better solution. The second benefit, you have full control on your sounds, like you won't need to deal with the change of the transients all the time and stuff like that. And the third benefit is it is a lot lighter on the CPU. And not talking about that, your project will be less crowded with lots of effects and process on the groups. So this is why I would say never compress my drums, not even kicks or snares or hi-hats or whatever. But if I do, I try to do it a little differently, like the way I just showed you. So if you want to learn more about drums, like drum synthesis, drum rescuing, coloring, stuff like that, join the new drum synthesis course on Letsynthesize Academy. Okay, so don't forget to check the link for the drum rescuing course, and if you want to grab this whole project, go to my Patreon below. See you guys next time. Peace.